All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new review and recap, and this is for the Acolyte Episode 3, which was reported to be the episode that was going to destroy Star Wars for good, forever, for anybody who was an original trilogy or pre-Disney fan, that it was going to turn everybody away. This was reported on so many channels, so many videos. I did a video about it after reading and hearing and watching about this whole situation that was going to occur in Episode 3. And did it happen? No, it didn't happen. Now, I am going to explain what did happen, and there's a lot more explaining that needs to be done. But I will tell you, this episode was boring. It doesn't feel like Star Wars, and some of the acting was horrible, especially in the first half of the episode. The two kids, so this episode goes back to tell the story about Osha and May and the sisters. They're part of a coven, okay? And this coven is all females. And you could see that they are training these two little girls to become witches. They want them to be witches just like them. And it's an interesting battle because Osha doesn't want to become a witch. May does want to become a witch. And she will do whatever it takes to force her sister to become a witch. And the Jedi are actually monitoring these individuals because of the two kids. They would like to train them. And it was very weird how the Jedi were portrayed in this. It was like if the Jedi show up, they're going to take your kids. It was very weird, the way in which this story is written and the way they that they're portraying the Jedi, because that's not the way the Jedi are. They've never been written that way. It's very bizarre. It's very odd. They're not going to come and take your kids, okay? And there were a couple of interesting moments in there. It was great to see Carrie Ann Moss back. You know, she was back, obviously, because this takes place, I don't remember how many years earlier. It was like 16 years or something like that. And in this coven, so basically what's happening is these girls are about to take their jump into actually becoming witches. And I don't know what they were talking about as far as the original trilogy killer, because they don't explain how these two girls were created. And at one point, the head witch, and you could tell that they're using, dark forces to control the Force, or maybe in a gray area. We don't know. There hasn't been a whole lot explained about the witches, in general. This is all new territory for this sort of a thing. And what you find out is that they've been training, behind the back of everybody, kind of on a planet that they thought was uninhabited. And they're there doing their thing, and the Jedi show up. Now, at one point, you find out that the main witch was the one who conceived the children, but another witch that you could see they have kind of a moment. You could see that they're probably lesbians. She said, "You made them, but I carried them." How does that even work? They don't even explain how that works. And in fact, the one who carried them looks at the head witch and says, "The Jedi must never find out how you conceive them." Okay, you want to explain a little bit more? Maybe the show will explain that moving forward, but they don't explain it in this episode. And so it's a nothing burger. At the end of the day, you find out that May had actually started a fire to kill her sister Osha from going to go with the Jedi. They try to keep her from going, she wants to become a Jedi, and May is like, "No, you have to stay here and fulfill your destiny to become a witch." And she says, "You can't keep me from doing this." And so May sets a fire to kill her. And in the process, lights the whole place on fire, kills everybody. May actually ends up falling, into a pit, but somehow survives. They haven't shown how that happened yet either. And so there's a lot of questions about this episode, but everyone else appears to be dead. And so the Jedi take Osha with them back to where they train. And, in the last episode, the last two episodes, they made it seem like the Jedi did something horrible. In fact, May is going out killing everybody because of something that these four Jedi did. What did these four Jedi do exactly? Because they thought she was dead, they just took her off to protect her. And so there's a lot that needs to be explained. Like, why does May have this chip on her shoulder with the Jedi? Why does she want to kill those 4 Jedi there that went to get her sister? Is it just because they went to take her sister away and she wants to be part of the Jedi? Like, this story seems very flimsy and on the surface. There's nothing deep about it. And there was one weird scene in this episode where the witches do these chants, and I don't know, maybe Leslie Headland has seen stuff like this in the past. She was, Harvey Weinstein's, personal assistant, and maybe she's seen some weird stuff in the crap, in the past, weird crap in the past. I don't know. It just seemed really weird for a Star Wars show. It seemed inappropriate. It seemed very odd. And so this does not have the feel of Star Wars. And the acting by the 2 little girls at the beginning of this episode was atrocious. Like, absolutely atrocious. Towards the second half, they do get a little bit better, but this was not, out of all of the Star Wars content that has been created for Disney Plus, the live action stuff, this is my least favorite. Like, it's really not that good. Something has to happen. There has to be something to really latch onto, because so far it's very blah. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes more than I do the third, and a lot of reviewers said it picks up in the third and the fourth episode. This did not. There was so much nonsense, things that didn't make sense. How she survived, how the 2 kids were conceived. They don't explain anything. They just throw out ideas, but don't give you any ideas to how those things happened. It's just weird. And if they say that they use the Force to will these girls into existence, that would be incredibly stupid. It just would. All right, guys. So at the end of the day, if I had to give this, out of 5 stars, I'd give it 2. There's just too much that's not that isn't explained in the moment. And it's not one of those things where, maybe they'll explain it later and it'll add to the story. No, you really do have to explain things. You do. All right, guys, so there's my kind of review for the 3rd episode of The Acolyte. If you guys are watching it, what did you guys think? Did you notice anything that would turn original trilogy fans off? I just don't understand, what people were talking about. And this show, if anything, is just boring. It's just blah. It's just blah. I have no enthusiasm for this show. I'm going to continue to watch it. I'll do weekly recaps. But, yeah, I'm not. It's just not. It doesn't feel like Star Wars, guys. All right, so what are your guys' thoughts? Chime in below. And if you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. We will see you on the next video.